So we opened our doors on August 5th in 1985 in a storefront facility on Ludington Street. We were using motel pools and backyard pools to teach swim lessons and do water aerobics.
The beginning was hard. Nobody knew what a Y could do. I remember driving all over the county to get to private pools so we could teach.
When they heard that, hey, there were things, YMCA's down in Wisconsin that people brought forward from a grassroots effort, you know, they thought, well, why can't we do it? Why can't we do it?
Bayshore Kiwanis Fund was established years before the Y showed up.
And it was specific to the pool
Yes.
to build a pool. It was named Run for the Pool.
It was somewhat easy to succeed in one way because everybody understood it. It was a very clear message. We want to build something great for our community, a resource that everybody can use. But hard to do because we had never raised money on the scale that we were going to need to raise before. Bay College was a partner with us. That was kind of hard to understand for some folks listening. How is it going to work?
It would have never happened without community support.
Everybody helped. I mean, everybody.
There was a need. There was no pool here.
Drowning is one of the most preventable methods of death, especially for children. Over 1,000 lifeguards that we've trained over the last 35 years, what an impact that makes.
We have schools using it for testing. So Rapid River schools have been in the last few years to use it as part of their science and fitness classes. So our local dive and rescue team uses our pool annually and a couple times a year to work on their training. The Boy Scouts, they also use the pool. They have some aquatic badges that they have to earn.
We've had anywhere from almost 90 to 100 kids on the team. There was a couple years where we were approaching 100. Most of the time, it averaged about 70 kids. We had kids from Rapid River, Bark River, both Esky and Gladstone, of course, some from Mid-Penn that came out here.
The way this pool was designed and built was as economically as we could do it. And so we had to watch each dime and each penny of the construction process. And we made some compromises. We don't have windows in our pool. We didn't have the biggest decks. And it was built well. But over time, because of these soils that we're in, because mechanical systems have changed dramatically over time, our pool, which was bright and shiny in 1990, now needs some real deep attention.
You look at this facility, it's amazing. It looks great, but I use an analogy like on a car because we all relate to them, we all have them. And you know, it started getting some rust holes in it. We'd bond them up and we'd paint it. And the engine got tired, so we replaced it. The transmission fell out of it, so we changed that a couple of times. Really shocks, brakes, tires, numerous things. Painted it a few more times, and it looks great. But when you crawl underneath it and you start taking a look at the bowels of the facility, it's exceeded its life expectancy. And everyone's done a phenomenal job maintaining things to keep things going. It just doesn't seem cost effective or really a good use of financials to even consider going through the millions of dollars it would take to renovate this space.
We've maintained it, but the ground settles and creates cracks and separations, and we have to deal with that. Mechanical systems become fatigued, and you're replacing parts, expensive parts, by the way, you know, every few months, sometimes every couple of years. You have to reinvest a lot of money in something that is really outdated technology.
It's only a matter of time before they all decide to break. Unfortunately, there isn't really anything else you can do but rip them out and replace them again. A wall of piping basically through the concrete around the whole facility. This is just a prime example of what's happened to it over the last 3.5 decades. The fresh air intake that brings the fresh air into the pool. These are like the cooling and heating coils that do the dehumidification. I hate to touch them, but this isn't the first coil. This was one of the transmissions that were replaced many times over the years. The box of the unit itself is starting to give way now. Kind of like the frame of the car. Not much left to it. This is what's moving the air through the pool room. It's 34 years old.
We really are nearing the end of an opportunity that we could actually provide for the usability of the pool.
What we really need to do, if we're going to be good stewards of people's donated dollars, is we need to make the best investment for them. And that, at this point, is building a new pool.
The space where the pool currently sits is a space that we would be able to take advantage of for other things.
We know we want to expand our sports. Two areas that we absolutely know that we want to expand is the soccer and then possibly track and field. So you could probably expand and really kind of create space from that aspect where the pool currently resides. It's a win-win however you look at it, because the relationship will not change. It opens it up for the community.
I think the pool is incredibly important. I grew up in Gladstone. I remember being in the pool for swimming lessons and all of those things when I was a kid, birthday parties. We were here all the time, and I think that's still the case. You know, the pool, I see the foot traffic that comes in and out of our building for the usage of the pool all the time. I think it's something that we need in our community, and I think it's clear that the pool is, you know, lived its life. It's on its last leg, and I think a new pool is something that we need greatly.
Through very generous support from the Hannahville Indian community, we were blessed to actually be able to renovate the old MTech facility on Bay's campus into our current YMCA. A brand new facility with a running track, excellent fitness center, access to 2 gymnasiums, new locker rooms and sauna, new fitness studio, new spin studio, new intergenerational room, a new top watch facility, and our gift from Hannahville provided the support for both this and renovations at the Wells Township School, where we currently have over 100 children in our child care center. So at this point, the pool is a completely separate project. Where we're at currently is we are in what we term the quiet phase of the capital campaign, with a specific steering committee that is working to help us reach our goal of approximately $5 million.
So today we're standing right here on the north side of the current fitness facility. This would be the location of the new pool. So a couple years ago, when we renovated the old MTech building, we actually did it with the future pool in mind. And so you'll see between the men's and women's locker rooms an area there that will be easily renovated to become the corridor to and from the new aquatic area. The $5 million goal that we have is really just a minimum goal. We will only get a similar size pool to what we have already and a similar type building structure. If we are so enabled and we surpass the $5 million goal, there are other aquatic features that we would like to incorporate into the construction process.
What I'd like to see is just a bigger pool. It can still be 6 lanes, but have wider lanes. And you know, when the high schoolers get in the pool, sometimes the lanes are so narrow right now that they end up hitting each other, have to avoid each other as they swim.
Ideally, we're looking at doing a 0 depth entry to get into the pool. We want to make it so anyone can get into the pool.
One of the things that we'd really like to do is incorporate a second pool. That would allow us to have 1 lap pool that would be used for lap swimming, swim team, and lifeguard training, those types of things. That pool would be kept at a lower temperature. The second pool would be kept at a higher temperature and would be really useful for therapeutic activities as well as swim lessons. So I'm really excited to share with you that our fundraising efforts have been successful so far. We're in January 2024 and we're halfway. We're at $2.5 million toward our goal of $5 million. We're still working to seek out large donors. We have a goal of getting to $4.5 million with large donors. At that point, then we will be able to go toward our public phase of our campaign. Just as importantly, we'll be able to start the construction process. We also have naming rights available for large donors for the new aquatic center, as well as the entire fitness facility.
You know, there's a lot of stories of individuals that had it not been for the pool, they don't know where they'd be today.
When I was teaching a little girl, I saw her in a learn to swim class, and she was terrified of the water and very down. I noticed during her time in learn to swim that as she learned a few things, head started coming up, and she started looking excited about it. And the neat thing was even the teachers in school noticed that she suddenly had more confidence and more enthusiasm and more interest in everything.
I just feel like I've grown up here, so it has like a really special place in my heart. But being a lifeguard, I'm probably going to college in Florida, so it can help me in ways that I can find a job down there of lifeguarding while I'm going to school, and I am more comfortable in the water in general.
Like both of us, we went through swim lessons as kids, and I feel like it's really important to give the younger people than us, like the youth, a chance to really get to know themselves in the water and learn how to control their bodies within the water. And I think that right now, our pool, we're outgrowing it and that we need to expand.
I've taught adults how to swim, and one in particular who was absolutely terrified of the water. And her comment was, "Thank you for teaching me to believe in myself."
The generations that preceded us worked extremely hard to fund and build the current pool that we have that's served us so well. Now it's time for all of us to step forward and fund and build a new pool and aquatic center that'll be used by not only us, but the generations that'll follow us.
Let's build a